Welcome back to the Fusion Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Bacon, and with me today is Fusion's president from 2018 to 2019, Dominique Manahan. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Dominique. I was a freshman 2016 to 2017, and then that's when I joined Fusion. I was an intern that year. My sophomore year, 17 to 18, I was Fusion's EVP, and then 17 to 18 and 19 was when I was president, and then doing stuff on the side there too. And then 1920, my senior year, kind of took a break from Fusion, was just a general member. But yeah, I was a first year. I graduated with a film and media studies degree with a minor in informatics. FMS.
FMS.
Humanities. We love humanities.
Gotta look out for them, man.
Exactly. We're the ones crossing the bridge all the time, getting run over by the skateboards. Well, before.
Exactly.
And we have to take 4 years of what is it?
What?
Like another language.
Oh, is it 4? Well, two
2
years. 2 years. Yes. Oh, geez.
Okay,
4 years. I would.
2 years of another language here. STEM don't got that, so we're very well rounded, if I can say that. And yeah, right now I'm working in Amazon as like fulfillment centers as an area manager. That's currently in like Rialto at a building called LGB7. That's all I've been doing.
Oh, okay. Lot. Dom is not gonna lie, my gateway into Fusion. Little,
Yes, sir.
Little aside. Went to Anteater Involvement Fair to see Richard with my friends. And first thing that Dom said to me when I went to the booth was, "Do you like clubbing?" And I was just hooked.
Hey, I gotta sell those.
I mean, like, you're not wrong. You were hustling, but like I was like,
True.
I respect it. And then after that,
Did
it
you
was
end up
just
going, by the way?
clubbing.
Yeah.
I went once. And it was fun. Wouldn't do it by myself. Anyway, moving on. Here in Fusion, we love doing icebreakers. It's like one of our go-to things at the start of every meeting. So, icebreaker question for you is, being a film and media studies major, what's your favorite movie and why?
Kevin Bacon, you're freezing.
Oh, am I actually? Oh no. Oh, am I back?
Hold up.
Oh,
your connection's unstable. Hold up. My
okay.
connection. Technical difficulties.
Yeah. We'll cut this out. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. You're back now.
Okay. I'll repeat the icebreaker question. Being
Okay.
a film and media studies major, and us, studying film. What's your favorite film and why?
I would say my favorite film is probably Toy Story. That's always like my go-to to say when it's like that. But like if I would, because that's like my all-time favorite movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Toy Story always had my heart. First animated, like big animated film, and then it was also Pixar. So it's my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Understandable. Yeah. I mean, because.
What's yours?
Oh, God. I thought about this. Okay. Being a film media studies major, you need to have the go-to answer because that's like a good conversation starter. I would say my favorite movie is, I always say Baby Driver because it's it's a movie that I've rewatched so many times and I've still liked it every time I watched it. So I think that's a clear sign that I really like the movie.
You want to talk about the ending though?
Ending was, I mean, like, that's spoilers though, but
hey, it's been out for like how many years? 10 years already? 8 years? I feel like that's on them. We can put spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Click on the just skip ahead if you don't want to get spoiled. But yeah, the ending is I'm still surprised it ends in a happy note.
Yeah, that's
Y-
when I love the movie all the way until the end, and then I was like, wait, this is the ending, and then it
Yeah,
like cut to the
yeah.
credits, and I was like, what?
Like okay, if that's like it could be your favorite movie, but it's you can still critique it. But like if
True.
it ends with him getting arrested, I think that would have been like a perfect way to end the movie.
Mhm.
I 100% agree with you on that. So it's still
Do you
good
think
though.
do you think they were setting it up for Baby Driver 2?
It's hard to say because I feel like everything was like tied up at the end mostly. Maybe
Yeah,
yeah, that little thing at the end does make it seem like, oh, is he gonna, go back to
yeah, yeah,
doing the
yeah.
same thing? But yeah, I don't know. I don't see it in the horizon. And if they do, I don't know what they'd cover. I feel like
Well,
it's
also
self-contained.
they're not gonna have that dude in it too.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah. That Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not gonna be in that for
nope,
sure. So
definitely not. But you know, I mean, even still, it's hard because like I feel like all those characters are like they just wouldn't meet up again. So it'd be like a completely new cast besides just, Baby.
yeah,
So we would see. I mean, the film stands on its own, so I don't see there being a reason to be there to be a sequel, to be honest. So, but yeah, oh, talk about film, man. That's crazy. It's been a minute.
it's like have this discussion group right
Yeah,
now.
I know. Honestly, I'm like, man, I miss this. God, everything being online, I want to be so antisocial, but that's besides the point.
I feel that. I mean, we can get to that later.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Online schooling, definitely not top tier, but it is what it is. But anyway, moving on. As you mentioned, you said you were you graduated as film and media studies slash a minor in ICS, I believe, informatics.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Uh, question I have is, do you have any advice for people or students who want to change majors but don't know like what steps to take slash like when to do it exactly?
Yeah, so I actually switched. I started my freshman year, I got accepted into UCI with a major in CSC, computer science and engineering. Uh was one of the STEM people. And then about 2 years later, I wasn't making the grades, definitely was um not making the grades, not making the GPA. So I switched to film and media, um, partly because it was a major that I could switch into because I already had taken some of the prereqs, and then also because I was interested in it anyways. In any advice towards people who want to switch majors, I would say I switched in my second year, or my second going on to my third year. So I switched very, very late, and I actually was surprised that I could graduate on time, let alone I graduated like a quarter early.
Hmm.
So I would say that definitely try to spread out um your first and second year with a lot of your just what is it called? The prereqs, it's like
Like what is it like elective classes, I guess?
elective classes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Hmm.
take some fun classes for yourself, definitely to just try other things, to meet new people. Like
Hmm.
I mean, it is recommended by like if you're in the engineering schools to like follow this sort of path and stuff like that, but definitely I would say if you're just like have no idea about the major, you're pretty sure like, hey, I'm interested in something else, I don't even know if I want to stay in here, spread out some like other classes in there, like take a bio class here. If you fail, that's fine, like you can at least then you'll have other classes that you're taking that you can like rely on, that you'll be good at, and you'll know you can always like drop a class, like there's a lot of options there. So definitely like don't like put all your eggs in one basket. if you know that you think you're going to switch later on. And it's like a good opportunity for you as a freshman to just like have a kind of relaxed freshman year with all the changes
Yeah.
and going to like you don't even know. I mean, I didn't know what it was like going into a university. So even though my brother went, I was I got culture shocked a lot by the amount of work and like the
Hmm.
expectation and responsibility that it placed on me. So that's when I started failing. So and then
Hmm.
one of the reasons I didn't fail so hard and I had to like drop out of school is because I did take those elective classes just because like my friends were in it and it was going to be fun.
Hmm.
And in the end that saved me so I wouldn't have to take like an extra year, spend more money, waste
Hmm.
more of my time. So don't be afraid to um don't I would say like don't be afraid to take classes that are like extremely out of your realm.
Hmm.
Take stuff that you're interested in, courses that even may not count as uh towards your major, that
Hmm.
it's just like credits. Why not just take that for like 1 quarter and see if you like it or not. You can always also sit in other classes. I think it's called auditing,
Hmm. Auditor
and you can
class.
just yeah and just see if you like it or not. I mean, I don't know how it's going to be within like online learning if you can just like get a Zoom ID, but like if you end up liking, I personally prefer like getting a job or a major in something that you like because it's a lot easier for you to enjoy it. Because when
Hmm.
I was in CSE, all I would focus on is just getting through it and finishing it so then I can get a job. But ultimately, that led to my demise because I did not find
Hmm.
a lot of passion in what I did and what I liked. So when I was like trying to learn C++, I was like, I really don't want to do this. I'd rather do something else. I did the something else. And that was like my bad, obviously. But like
Hmm.
if I was studying something I liked and enjoyed and had like a passion in, that pushed me even more to do better. But some people are different. Don't be afraid to switch out into something very different. I did. I went from like STEM to humanities.
Woo, woo, woo.
Don't care about what anybody else says about you switching or not. Like people do switch. People do stay in college for like 6 7 years, and that's fine. Like the main goal is for you to graduate in the end. So getting that degree is the most important thing, no matter what it says on the paper. Like if you wanted, I mean, it matters if you want to be like a doctor, getting a bio degree or
Yeah.
something. Like
Uh-huh.
there's some professions where you have to get a major in whatever you need. But when it comes to like anything outside of it, like I'm an area manager, that has nothing to do with film and media. So they only wanted me to have a degree at that point. So at least that was in my at the end goal. I just needed to finish and
Hmm.
pass. So yeah, that was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I mean, like, you hit a bunch of like the good points because I felt like I was kind of hearing my story because I was also in the same boat where first year I was like it was a really rough time. I was like really like stressed with like classwork and just like getting a feel of how university was. And like I felt like I was having a hard time like, switching to like the university idea of like, studying and like classes and stuff. So
Doing
but
everything on your own.
yeah, that was the hardest
Yeah,
part. Like it was just like, oh, it's like you look at it and it's like, oh, I only have classes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's like, oh, dude, this is so great. But then
yeah.
it's up to you, and then it's like that's like the hardest part. So yeah, I also switched to film and media, but yeah, I feel like the biggest thing is like you said, don't care what other people think. People like honestly, it's up. They're not getting your degree. You're getting your own degree. Like honestly,
Exactly.
like whether it takes you like the regular like 4 years, 5 years, or whatnot. It's like at the end of it, it's what makes you like. If you feel like you succeeded at the end, then that's all that matters. Like to be honest, and also just take your time. University is a great time to like. You'll never get an experience where you'll meet so many different kinds of people.
Yes.
So
Agreed.
like once you leave university, man, it's like you're finding people, finding friend groups and all that stuff. That's hard. It's hard.
Oh
Like
yeah.
like you know, you either go straight into work and it's just like, oh, I get we're acquaintances, and or it's
Hmm.
like, and you're lonely. But yeah, I just feel like, take your time. But unless you're doing like, nursing and something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
But
absolutely. There's
mhm,
certain professions where like if you want to be like a what's it called? An engineer, like a mechanical technician, engineer, you
mhm,
want to work on like spaceships and stuff like that. Like obviously you want to go into like aerospace or something. Like you're
mhm.
not gonna and NASA's not gonna be like, oh, that film and media major right there looks pretty interesting. Let's have some diversity. Like
Mhm.
obviously that's like not gonna happen, but what's it called? That'd be a good movie though. But
Yes, sir.
the but like there's some things where if you don't even know what you want to be at the end of the like after the end of college, that's fine. And then if you don't know what you're gonna be, why are you stressing yourself out in a major you don't even like?
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, at the end, that's the hardest part about university. It's like you get so much freedom, but at the end of the day, you make your own decisions. So
Yep.
that's, you have to just push yourself to like, this is what I want to do and this is what I want to leave with. So, if you feel like switching majors is like the option, then, you know, just switch majors. Like there's nothing wrong with it.
Hmm.
Yep. Uh, all right. We can move on. Uh, you talked about how you're an area manager for Amazon. Uh,
Yes.
could you tell me more about that current job and how you're developing
uh
professionally?
yeah, I can. So I work for Mr. Bezos now. And I am a part of the corporate wheel. But the basically at my job, I manage around, I would say, 300 or like 500 people in my own department. Let alone in the building, it would probably be around, okay, I would say, probably say like 200, 300 people in my own department, and then
Mm-hmm.
um, 700 in the whole building, maybe. So uh, I just make sure that the processes are running, everything's fine, we get packages on time,
Mm-hmm.
and then fixing anything and escalating anything that I need to. Like if I see that a conveyor is down, I have to be like calling the technicians to come and fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and how am I developing professionally? I would say I'm developing professionally. The only thing that I feel like I'm getting better at is developing myself in a way that I'm not scared anymore. Like I used to
Mm-hmm.
be like, come on, I'm like a 22-year-old area manager that I'm managing essentially like 30, 40-year-old people, and it's like very intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like how do you know what to do when somebody asks you like a question? Like 40-year-old people are coming to me for questions, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
how do I do this? And so a lot of it was learning how to manage, learning how do I say this? Learning to pick things up very fast,
Mm-hmm.
learning how to challenge myself in ways that I didn't think I would be able to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And then also managing those like difficult situations the best I can and the most professionally as I can, because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day I'm still their manager. I can't just be like, you know what, I'm gonna like not do anything today because I don't feel
Mm-hmm.
like it. I
Yep.
can't do that. So sad. I have to like always work so hard. And I think I'm doing pretty well in the job I'm currently. I am pretty good at it. Uh, yes,
Yeah.
I. So like, I'm going on almost like a year and like a couple months. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm hopefully aiming to get a promotion. It's just gonna be like promotion up a little bit, same position essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I am learning how to basically run a whole department on like my own too. So
Mm-hmm.
that's fun. Yes.
Yes.
I could talk about like more specifics on like what I've learned in like situations I've been in, but I don't know if you want to get into that.
Nah, you're chilling. But yeah, I guess like the word that was like flashing in my head when you were talking about all the things you were learning was adaptability and like being able to like, learn things very quickly and like, learn things on the fly. And I think that's just a skill that like is applicable to like any position or like any
Mhm.
job basically. Especially when you're like a manager position, you have to be able to like, you know, lead people and like make sure that like, you're on top of things. So yeah.
Yes. Like
Yes.
I came into Amazon. I was a manager. There's definitely like there's three types of ways that you can get to the position I am at. So like
Mm-hmm.
university hire. I was hired from university. A recruiter came and said like, "Hey, do you want this job?" Another way is to be an external hire, where basically that you have some sort of operational experience in like a warehouse, process manager, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can get that way. And then another way is to be promoted from like a regular associate up into like a salaried manager. So I came in literally not knowing anything about Amazon, literally knowing nothing about being a manager. Um, I came in with like zero knowledge about everything.
Mm-hmm.
And my onboarding was not even that good either. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have anybody to rely on or anything to rely on to help me learn and succeed. So I was failing like for the first 3 months. I was
Mm-hmm.
getting yelled at by my manager. It was not a good I was getting yelled at. I was getting like reprimanded. I was told I was not doing my job.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like
Yeah.
it's very much like, I guess, in a very adult thing just to not know what you're doing anyway. So the thing is that I had to figure it out, or I'm just gonna hate my job. I'm gonna hate what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I just put all my time and effort into just learning, and that was all on me to do. So it was me asking questions from certain people, reaching out
Mm-hmm.
to literally anybody. And that's where I think me coming from Fusion like really helped me, because feel like I was used to like meeting different people from different like areas, from like
Mm-hmm.
the cross cultural center, like the people in the student center, Kaba. Like I was used to like going out and saying like, hi, my name's this, like
Mm-hmm.
and doing it for for my job. I was literally going on like Amazon Chime, which is like our messaging system,
Mm-hmm.
and I would just scroll through like a chat room and like click the certain one, and I just said, hi, my name's Dominique, do you mind if you explain this to me? And then by me learning more, I became more knowledgeable what I was doing and what I should be doing,
Mm-hmm.
and getting my stuff that I need to get done. And um then all of a sudden I became like, I'm the most knowledgeable on my team now. Like everybody comes to me when they don't know stuff. So it definitely was like, you have to adapt to what they're asking you no matter what. If you can't just sit there and be like, well, nobody taught me anything, like
Mm-hmm.
it's like, well, too bad, you gotta figure it out. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to you immediately it's like, you have to help yourself. Like never expect somebody else to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the end, like, you're 22 years old, somebody can mentor you 100%, but you have to then find that mentor, or that
Mm-hmm.
because that mentor may never ever approach you. So it's all on you, and this sounds very scary, and it was very scary to like realize, but like everything's all on you to figure out, and for your own professional development. If I didn't do anything and I stayed like a manager that only did what I was supposed to do, I wouldn't be where I was at. I wouldn't be getting like leading up to promotion. I wouldn't be getting like recognized by like senior management at all. So it's about it's all on you and then myself to like try to succeed and try to like push barriers away, like think of new things, like new ideas. It's definitely not something that's like the hardest part, is to like push
Yep.
yourself, because I 100% I got burnt out in the first like 2 months. So
Oh, okay.
but I had no break. There's no vacation, there's no like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to like have this break ever, but I kept pushing through, I kept continuing, and by me doing that, that just ultimately led to like it's also like almost like an increased stamina. Like I just felt like I was sprinting for like 8 months, and
Mm-hmm.
when I finally took my vacation, I was like, oh, this feels good. And like I slept for like however many years. I slept for like how years. I said I slept for like so long. But I also felt very like fulfilled,
Mm-hmm.
and because I did what I needed to do, and I was good at it, and that's the way I get my fulfillment though. So yeah.
For sure. For sure. I mean, it's kind of like the thing that I'm low-key scared of is like when going into the workforce, it's like, there's no, you're not signing up for a class, seeing a syllabus and like, okay, this is what we're gonna do weekly. Nope. It's like it's all up to you to like figure out like, okay, what should I be doing in my position? How can I make, it easier on myself and everyone around me?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, yep, it's all up to you. That's basically like life. If you
Yeah.
really think about it, it's just like, you know, people can teach you stuff, but like at the end of it, it's like it's up to you how you develop and like, use such advice. So, damn.
It's okay, you got it.
Y-
You joined Fusion Board.
I got this. Yeah, I did.
It's all practice. You got it.
Honestly, trial by fire. But yeah, I mean, we can move on. So I mean, COVID was a really big thing, and is still pretty much a big thing, and is still part of our, the way we live. So my question to you is, how do you keep being productive during times of COVID? Like, what kind of things do you do to like unwind slash,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I worked throughout the whole pandemic, so
Mm-hmm.
that didn't really affect my productivity work wise. I It definitely affected my mental state, just because I was so like I was so scared every day to like go to work, possibly get COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and then come home over the weekend and maybe give it to my parents or my brother. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I was always scared. My dad was like also very, very scared as well. So he like the amount of alcohol, like he bought alcohol sprays, like all this
Mm-hmm.
Clorox, bleach, like he he definitely prepared me and helped, and like more than anything he was like, what he's like, you gotta do, he gave me like a procedure I have to do every day, and he's like, you have to do this, and I said okay. And I'm pretty sure like that's what helped, that's what definitely helped me get through the pandemic while working
Mm-hmm.
all the time, because even though it was like you never know if you had it or not, definitely
Mm-hmm.
still gave him and me a peace of mind of like, at least
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing whatever I can to control what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, uh, but yeah, like I, productivity wise, it didn't affect me work wise. But then affected me socially, I would say. I got super. I used to be super like extroverted in like junior sophomore year, and then all of
Mm-hmm.
a sudden now I find myself feeling very awkward and like very like anxious when I get in crowds. Like I went
Mm.
yesterday, I'm fully vaccinated, so like I've been like I trying to go out a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to this like food market yesterday, and my gosh, there were so many people. I was just like, why are there so many people? And they're not wearing masks. And I'm like, oh my
Oh
God.
no.
And I was like, I was immediately just like, I don't like being here. Like, should we just take food and go home? And then, but I was like, you're fine. You're in the corner. Like, we have a table. People aren't away from you. But it was also like so loud, and like they're like
Mm-hmm.
playing like club music. And I was just immediately overstimulated. So I was just like, I got just super anxious, and I was like, okay, God, like I'm not used to it anymore, definitely.
Uh-huh. Yeah, for sure.
Um, and I'm also definitely not used to like, what do I, after college, like minus COVID, I don't know what to talk about anymore. Like I just like, I will just talk about work. And then they'll ask me like, what do you do? And I'm like, I'll watch TV. Like I don't do much. So like that doesn't help me at least grow like on my own personally. Like I'm not doing anything. Like, what do I find enjoyment in? Laying down and watching TV. Like, that's what I like. And so that doesn't help me socially, because guess what? I'm not practicing talking to people. I'm like, I all of a sudden my like social meter hella dropped, and then I have nothing to talk about. Like, I don't know if that's just me not going outside and being like, this is what I did, or if that's just me being boring. I don't know.
Oh,
So
no.
hey, that's how it affected me.
I see.
Yeah. It
I
made me
mean,
save money though, so I would
hey, we
say,
take those.
yeah.
Honestly, yeah. COVID, there's like the tiniest silver lining is like, saving money is like a big part. But I would also say that, I mean, I'm lucky that I have like people around me that like, are like close enough where I could just like hit them up and then like talk to them in person.
Mhm.
But it's just completely different talking to someone through like, virtually. Like right now, like imagine if this interview was like in person, it'd be completely different.
Yeah.
But yeah. Uh I That's one of the things I didn't even think about is like after university, what do I talk about? Am I that interesting of a person? Like I can't rely on how's school or like what kind of classes are you taking?
You're like, how's work? And
Yeah.
then you're like, I really don't want to like explain what I do, and you're like, oh, the weather's pretty good, right? It's like do you watch that new TV show? You're like, no. It's like,
I have to go.
are we gonna go order something to eat right now? What are you gonna get? Like, pulling for anything. Like,
Yeah, it's like just please give me conversation material. Oh God. I mean, little tangent, but like people that don't like engage in conversation is like it's like God dang it, please. I just want to talk. Like, come on, man.
yeah.
How's school? Good. Anyway, it's like come on, man. Like, give me
You're just
something.
like, nice. Thank you.
I'm trying to interact. Please help me. But yeah. I
And
mean,
then they just stay looking at you. They're like, what else do you want to ask?
yeah,
You're just
it's
like,
like
what? What do you mean?
it's like, yo, man, I want to have a conversation. I don't want to like, interview you, man. That's like the hard, dude. That's like the hardest part with conversation. Sometimes it's like, when is it like, when does it change from a conversation to like you interviewing someone? Because like,
Yeah.
it's like, God dang it. It low-key feels like that whenever I do this podcast sometimes. But that's besides the point. No, but this is a conversation though, 100%.
Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, moving on. I mean, next question. Is there anything? What's the biggest thing that you would want to do after COVID is under control, since that's
I want
on
to
the horizon?
travel. I want to travel so bad.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
I wanted to go to Hawaii
Mm-hmm.
right after I graduated. JK, like, COVID. I wanted to go to Vegas for my 21st birthday, and then end up snowing on the way there, so I never made it through the Common Pass.
Oh my God.
And then I've been talking to Sammy about going to like Seattle, but
Mm-hmm.
then I also like I I'd still have to get like, I don't know about traveling just that soon yet, so we're just like waiting.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to New York. I want to go to Paris, the Philippines again. Like, I want to
Mm-hmm.
travel really bad.
Yep.
Um, I just want to like experience something new, like outside of like California that I know. Like, I don't mind going to San Francisco, like taking a group of friends with me and just walking around the city. Like, that seems like so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's the one thing I really want to do. The next thing, if because I think travel is like really basic. Everybody wants to travel.
Everyone wants to travel. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I think the next thing would probably like have parties again. Not parties, but like gatherings.
Yeah,
Like,
gatherings.
I'm not a party person, but like I would I all of my like social interactions before COVID were always like going to like Disneyland or going to restaurants to eat.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, it's pretty hard to do that when like nobody wants, like half of the people are scared to go out, which like I really like, I'm not getting mad about it, but like
Understandable. Yeah.
yeah, it's like I'm not mad about it, but then it's like I want these groups of people to be able to like meet together safely like it was before, like have
Mm-hmm.
fun, no worries. Like we don't want to break out the Clorox wipes before, um like I want to be able to have those gatherings again, like go to uh like I wish y'all could have had a winter retreat so bad, because I feel like that would have been so cool to at least like everything was virtual, but then now you come inside to like a winter retreat. That would be cool. But I wish y'all got to have that this year.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that like I could maybe like what's it called, like go to a fusion meeting and like go to I wish I could have gone to a fusion meeting in person, go on Ring
Mm.
Road, and just I could, there's like a whole bunch of other
Yeah,
stuff, but
honestly, yeah, for sure, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, God, that made me so sad. Winter retreat, winter retreat. Like just the logistics don't line up. It was really bad, but
Yeah.
unfortunate. But if you join Fusion next year, winter retreat is like one of the biggest highlights. So look forward to that.
Okay.
Yeah, but God, I'm so sad about that. But anyway, it is what it is.
Hey, it just means that you can go harder next year, right? Like
Uh,
you got the
y-
money in the bank.
Oh, you
So
right? Yo, I'm going to next year's winter retreat.
10-foot story cabin. Like easy. You're like, who's the treasurer? It's
Francis,
Francis? Yeah.
Francis,
Fran
yeah.
It's like, oh, Francis, we have enough money? Book it out. Like
Look at now. Now I'm just imagining a winter retreat where everything's socially distant. Now, I
bro,
don't know.
we weren't even we were literally sleeping like next to each other, like
No, that's
on the
why.
floor.
That's why I'm like, how big of a place would we would have like to have in order for it to
Yeah.
like work out? But
Half
then
the people in the cars.
no, it's like no, there's no way. Like just thinking about it, it's like this is so much work just to.
Somebody's sleeping outside. Somebody's so we'll
All
make an
right.
igloo.
Well, partition like areas. It's like all right, you can only sleep in this area.
Mhm.
But yeah. All right. Moving on. I guess we're gonna be switching more into fusion stuff. Speaking of winter retreat. Uh, well, not speaking of winter retreat, but like in line with fusion. Uh, how'd you get involved with fusion, and what was your reasons for coming back?
Yes. So, freshman year, I was before how about in high school, before I
Mm-hmm.
started, I was just doing campus tours at like UCI,
Mm-hmm.
Berkeley. Didn't get into Berkeley, pretty sad, but like I got into UCI.
We take
And
those.
then we take what we can get. And then while I was on those campus tours, um they were talking about like engineering fraternities, engineering clubs, and I was like, interesting. Like I should do that. Because I knew I was going into like CSE, so I was
Mm-hmm.
like, that seems like so much fun. Like you get to like basically find people who are in your classes, like learn with them, blah blah blah. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's so cool. So I go into UCI and I know that I want to join like a certain like engineering club,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of just shows how like gung ho I was about like this STEM thing, and then
Uh-huh.
how much of like a nerd I was. So then I was like, oh my god, let's do it. So I was like at this engineering I forgot what it's called, but like
Like gathering, I guess, would
it's
be.
a yeah, it was like week 0, right after like the not the commencement, but like right after like
Oh,
we
what is?
we
Yeah.
dotted in like the thing. And then they walked us all to our like school of engineering, school of
Oh.
humanities thing. They
Mm-hmm.
walked us there, and is it come I don't know, but like anyways, there was like the dean of like the engineering school was there, and then afterwards all the uh clubs did externals, and then I heard fusion, and
Oh.
it was actually Sid who was like calling out like, hi, come out to fusion, it's like a Filipino engineering club, we're gonna be blah blah blah. So I go over to the booth, afterwards because I was like, I'm Filipino. I'm here. So I was like, no, like perfect. So I was like, I fit in right here. So I go in and I grab like a flyer. And then I learned that their meetings are on Wednesdays at 7. And I said, okay, perfect. So I go to that week 1 meeting. I missed week 0 because I was like kind of sick. Week 0 because I think going to like a new place got me like my immune system wrecked. But anyways, like I went to week 1, and then that meeting was really, to me, very interesting. Immediately board members started talking to me. It was Sandra talking to me, and then I talked to Stephanie. I don't even think you know like those people's names. I remember talking to Aaron Chua. He had this like spiky pointy hair. It looked like very, oh my God, he looked very swagapino. Like I was like, I looked at all these people. I'm like, these people look like those Filipino parties I used to go to when like Manny Pacquiao was fighting. Like this looks crazy. And they were all like, they all looked, well, that was me as a freshman. They all like super like adult, look super friends. Like they almost felt like a family. And I was like, this is crazy. I was just like kind of overwhelmed, and then but I was like having fun learning and like knowing about people. I heard them, they started like speaking Tagalog here and there, and I was like, these people understand what I'm like they're saying. Like this is crazy. Like I never had in high school a place where I felt like I could like very much express who I was culturally. Like I went to a white school, so like I kind of just like blended in and kind of acted white. So then coming into like that kind of club where all of a sudden you are celebrated for being Filipino, for being Filipino, it was like a big change for me, and I was like super hyped about it. I remember like writing on my Finsta, I was like, this is cool. Like I want to come back. So I think we made castles.
Oh yeah, like castle
Castle destruction. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like the castle destruction meeting. We didn't win. But anyways, I kept coming back because I thought, I already paid for membership too because I was that like into it. I paid for it week 1, my first meeting. So I was like, let me just keep coming, you know. So I went to the next meeting. I had some good times, and then I just kept coming. And I just kind of like to joke sometimes that I wasn't like super into fusion my first year because I had my dorm friends. I loved my dorm friends. Like I remember you talking about in the previous podcast, like you're already comfortable with this other friend group. Why do I need to go and meet more people, right? So like, I was like, I don't know why I'm going to these meetings, but I am. And like my dorm friends are like, you want to come to dinner? I was like, I'm leaving right now, and they're like, oh, okay. So I'd always just kind of wish I was with them while I was in fusion, and that didn't help my experience because I definitely wasn't being open-minded because all I wanted to do was like, why don't I hang out with my friends? But slowly, as I got to know fusion more, and specifically like with fams and like people calling like me out, like not in a bad way, but they'll be like, Dominique, like I'd go to Baker Wrapped Hot Dog fundraiser, and they'd be like, oh my God, they're little freshmen. And they'd be like, so they would be recognizing me, and it would be like, oh, like they noticed that I'm not there at meetings and stuff like that. And certain people would just be like, I remember Ian Pareja, he would like he would really call me out whenever I didn't go to stuff. They had like a Halloween party, and I was like, I don't feel like going outside. And I just want to go home for the weekend. And he's like, you're on campus for the weekend, like just come through. And then I was like, I'll think about it. And then he's like, you're not coming. And I said I'd think about it. So I ended up coming to that party just like a lot later in the night, just because I was like, why not? I'll change my mind. And then it felt, and when I got there, everybody who was in there, who also fusion, was like, wow, she's here, like blah blah blah. So like if good.
Wait, you're frozen. Oh no. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Oh no.
I'm back.
Okay, okay.
Okay. I was like moving my computer.
I was like, oh no. It's
My
fine.
Wi-Fi is so trash. Okay, what did I stop at?
Okay, from what you froze when you were talking about like you went to the party like a little bit later and then it was like, I didn't hear
Okay.
anything else after that.
Okay, so I went to the party a little later, and then everybody there was like, "Wow, Dominique, you're here! So glad you're here." I had fun. I went back home.
Mhm.
So it felt good that even though that I didn't know them that well, they noticed me.
Mhm.
So I was like, these people are really cool. I just am not giving them a full chance. So I started going more. I started becoming friends. I became an intern. I got tricked into being an intern. And then uh playing music. What is this? Okay,
Uh-oh.
so I became an intern, and then that made me go to that made me learn more about board, learn more about the people on board,
Mhm.
and I was like, nice, cool. Like I didn't want to. I became close friends with them, and then all of a sudden, what was it called? Alumni panel happened.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they really got me with that alumni panel to run for board. They were like, board, help me do this, help me do that, and like all these like nostalgic um stories about like all these like uh inside jokes they had. I don't
Mhm.
even know if y'all know, like they had this thing where one of the fusion fundraisers before it was bacon wrapped hot dogs used to be Krabby Patties, and I was like, and they'd be like secret formula. They like had this whole like all the alumni came and they all started laughing like they were like so close, and I was like, I really want that. And I started talking to them, and they're like, you should run for board, and I was like, okay. So I was like, and they're like, which one should you do? And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I feel like EVP would be the best. And they're like, oh, you're so shy though. And I was like, bet I'll be an EVP. And so I I ran for EVP. I ran against Kenny Malubag, and I won. And then going into that, I just kept going. Like I was on board. I started running it. I loved leading people. So then I was stuck. I was not stuck. I was in it my second year. And then
Mhm.
my third year, the reason I came was that I Fusion gave me so much at that point. It gave me like this family. I'm gonna shout out my mentee, my mentors. So like Stephanie, she was my mentor, Priton,
Mhm.
my mentwin. I met DJ, Diana, they're like my suits.
Mhm.
Um, Ian, he's also my suits. I met Sammy there. I don't want to forget anybody before I get yelled at. And then like I made family there. I made people who actually legitimately cared about me, that it wasn't anything about school at all, which was weird because I joined that club because it was an engineering thing. And
Mhm.
so we all bonded over how we were failing. We were bonding about like going to like Irvine things, like going to the taco trucks and going to Raising Canes, and like I loved that. And it just kept happening. And then my junior year is when nobody was gonna run for president. And I was like, Fusion gave me so much. It legitimately gave me like a support system that I relied on heavily during college, that I
Mhm.
was like, okay, I'm gonna run for Fusion because I have these big ideas that'll actually help Fusion grow and develop itself and like kind of lead to long-term goals.
Mhm.
Like before I Fusion now is like very engineering based, like people, like it's helping them develop. Before then, I feel like it wasn't helping them that much. It was just mostly like a place for engineering Filipinos to gather.
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of that has changed because of the ways that I
Uh-oh.
Hey, we have this money here. I'm not wrapping bacon. Oh no.
Oh, you're good.
Okay, I'm not wrapping bacon. I'm not wrapping bacon
Oh,
on
shit.
hot dogs for nothing. Like,
Mhm.
oh, no, this internet. Okay, like I'm not wrapping bacon around these hot dogs for nothing. Absolutely not. Like I'm doing it because I want you to either uh get something out of it, whether that's like social support with like winter retreat, or
Mhm.
that's like through an engineering project. Like
Mhm.
that's us paying for you just so that you can get like something back, because
Mhm.
that's it. I talk too much
No,
sometimes.
no, 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 no. That was God. It's like hearing your story. It's like, man, I could see some similarities of like how I came. I mean, like what you were talking about with like, thank you for shouting out the previous podcast when I was talking about like why would I make friends outside of my dorm friends. But then like it was really second year where I wasn't with them and like,
Mhm.
hanging out with them wasn't as easy where it was like, I mean, I might as well join Fusion. Richard's there.
Yeah, and then you kind of just like I like to say the word stuck just because it's like you would never think you would like being there. And then because it's like why you want to be in an engineering club when you're not an engineer, right? Like I don't
Yeah.
want, and I don't want to talk about engineering on my off time where I'm not studying. So like it it sounds like you wouldn't have fun, but all of a sudden it's just this niche people that come together and they're just themselves and they enjoy being themselves with each other, um and goofing off and like
Hmm.
having fun and doing stuff together. And that's just like, I guess that's every social, that's every club, but
Yeah.
like that's just what Fusion ended up becoming. And I just never thought about it being that way, because it's just like you just keep coming and that's all on like your person, like just to,
Hmm.
if you want to give yourself that opportunity to be a part of that family, you will be a part of that family. So like I got stuck. I like I like to say the word stuck just because of that, because like I stayed and then all of a sudden I became part of a family. Why would I leave that, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
I never could. They would yell at me too. So like
It was like an actual family.
yeah.
Why come here?
Yeah. I would
Yeah.
get called out.
Yep. See, if you be like, that's like one of the biggest things where like with fusions, like it really is like a family. It's like, we like to joke around. We like, we call each other out when we're not at something. It's just like how a family is. And like, that's something that like every year I'm just like, there's a reason why I stayed in Fusion, and it's like the people. Like the people
Yeah,
there are so
100%.
welcoming. Just like e- me being a film media studies major, being there, like that doesn't even like that's not even like a factor. It's just like
Hmm.
I'm just there to have a good time, and everyone's there just like just to relax and like just talk to people that are different from them. But yeah, Fusion's good. Anyway,
Yes.
yes, Fusion good. I mean, uh, segueing to this question. I mean, we could go to this question instead. Uh, what's your favorite Fusion moment? It could be anything like, first, second, third year, fourth year, just like anything.
Sorry, I'm thinking
No, no, no.
because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot there.
yeah. I would probably say I don't I would probably say like a lot of it's not like there's not one specific moment that like really
Hmm.
pops in my mind.
Yeah.
Um if I would to give one, I would probably give a default answer, which is one of the board intern retreats that we did.
Hmm.
Um, but I love board meetings. I don't know if that shows how much of a nerd I am, but like I love board meetings because I love talking about like progress and stuff like that. Like I love talking about getting stuff done. Um, and I love just being around people, I guess. So I was just like, there was this one time we were so much was happening, and then all of a sudden we were playing not ninja, what was it called, assassins.
Oh.
And I was running around the cross cultural center just so that somebody wouldn't get me, because it was right after board meeting. I think it was Matt Talavera. He like right after board meeting, he opened the door. He's like, Dom. And he had like the little assassin. I think it was like a box of cereal or something. And he was just like, just come here. So let's not make this hard. And I was like, oh my God. So I was like running around the boardroom, and I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And those like fun little times like that, where it's just like, you're laughing maniacally for like no like good reason. Like those are such good times that I think about. We had like winter retreat my sophomore year. That was a good time too. Like everybody was, I think I was up for like a long ass time, because I was trying to finish those like oh my God, I forgot. Warm and Fuzzy.
Yes.
Yeah, I was trying to finish Warm and Fuzzies for everybody. And I was just up with like Rylan trying to finish it for everybody. And then we had to cook dinner and breakfast or something.
Yep.
What else? Yeah, we made like a Canes club because I was obsessed with Canes. So
you made a Canes club?
Yeah, it was called the CCC. It was the Canes crew or something. It was with DJ, Sammy, and Rylan and me, and we would go to Canes and Roasting Waters once a month.
Hey, that sounds lit.
I know. So like we made a Canes crew, and I would also go to I don't know if y'all went to the house in, I think it's Columbia, but it's like DJ's old house or apartment, where it used to be like Adria, DJ, Mark. They would all live there. And that's where like the parties used to be, in their apartment. I would go there and like play beer pong all the time. Like no beer, no drinking. I just love throwing that ping pong ball into cups.
Yeah.
Like, that was so fun.
Yes, we love it. The Canes Club. The lore thickens. It's funny learning about different times of fusion through these podcasts and like the little things. And it's like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I want you're like, I'm sure you guys have those little things too. Like you and it was so cute to I was watching the premiere of like the YouTube channel, not the YouTube channel, the fall retreat, or the fall preview recap.
Yeah.
That I was watching that and I was like, oh my God, you guys have like those little inside jokes, but virtually. And I was so happy that you guys could do that, and it was possible, because I don't know, while you're virtual, it's so hard to like find those genuine connections, or like those genuine things that you can goof off about and like make fun of. And you guys did that. And the way that it was edited, by the way, shout out to whoever did it. I think it was Gabe and
Alfredo. Gabe Alfredo. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like they did a great job editing it, because oh my God, like those meetings where like you can just laugh at something that you're not supposed, like that wasn't planned at all. Like that was so good.
It's so good.
Yeah, like those little times like always get me nostalgic. So I'm glad that you guys get to have that virtually as much as you can.
Yes, those are the things that you cherish, or like, you know, they're like big things, like you said, with like, you know, winter retreat. The first time I went, it was so great. I mean, the only thing I hate about winter retreat is like you don't sleep, but that's just me. Anyway, it's hard to sleep, but yeah, like there's like those things that stand out, but then also it's just like the little things, like, you know, like the winter, or not winter, Jesus, fall recap thing. I mean, just we're just gonna hate me for mentioning this. The freaking joke with fusion socks, fusion feet is like one of the funniest things I've ever seen on video. It's so cursed, but I love it. And it's just the little things too that are just like, this is why fusion is like so good. It's just like the little things, and like it being the inside joke is like, yes, I look back fondly at doing board and saying that line. Yes. But Yeah, I mean, segueing again to Fusion and board in particular, what would you say is your biggest takeaway? And give the audience a reason to do Fusion board since it is, voting season.
All right. Well, I really do believe board pushes you out of your comfort zone more than anything. And I do believe that as well. It's a great opportunity. It's not necessarily, it's a great opportunity to get and like give yourself. It's not an easy opportunity to do, but it's an easy opportunity for you to be like, it's not a job. You don't have to um like you don't have to like come for certain hour. I mean, you do have to go to meetings and stuff like that, but you don't have to like, you can, it's all what you put into it. So the Fusion board gives you that opportunity to become a leader, to no matter how shy you are, you're put into position that you're going to have to talk in front of people. And that is one of the, no matter how many people may not believe this, but like those soft skills and those skills that mainly extroverts have are those skills are the ones that make you stand out when you're out of college. So like if I never developed myself professionally or developed myself that way where I stayed shy, I never reached out to anybody, I never just like spoke in front of everybody, I never had to like clap once, clap twice, like those kinds of things, and try to control a room and control like a group of people. Like I would have not had the confidence or not known how to do that going into a job, any kind of job. Like when I was working in Disneyland, I all of a sudden the leadership skills that I had, it really makes you honestly like one up everybody else so that you can become like a lead or like a manager, stuff like that. Like it gives you a one up more than anything. One, you can say that like you can lead people, which is always good, or you can always say that you have the I don't know where I'm going with this part, but like it's always good for you, and it's always what you put into it. So if you didn't like board, and that's fine, it happens, like
it happens.
You still gave yourself that opportunity to know what you don't like. So like as well, like I know what I didn't like about board was or what I learned about myself while I was on board was that I learned that I am not that good at delegating, and I'm not that good at certain things. And going into a job, guess what? The same thing happened again, where I learned again that I cannot delegate. I got told by managers that I was like, Dom, you don't have to do everything, and I was like, gotcha. So this is exactly like a job. Like this fusion board is basically a simulated job. Like you have these expectations, these goals, these meetings you have to go to, and guess what? You don't get fired if you don't do your job here. So you can always just practice what you can. So practicing your public speaking, your professionalism. When something hard comes up within board, it just happens so randomly. You never know, like during board you're going to experience like those situations where like, wow, I didn't think I'd have to deal with this. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah.
Like there was this one time where somebody got lost on a Fusion Friday on a hiking thing, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna deal with this. I'm 20 years old. How am I gonna deal with finding somebody, telling them? Like, I was just like, okay, I can't, like, all of a sudden you learn how to deal with those kinds of situations, which is always good because that's just being an adult. You're learning how to take care of people, and making sure that you're just learning how to take care of people. So board, let me wrap this up in a little pretty bundle. But
yeah,
like,
you got this.
But board gives you opportunities to grow, whether that's professionally, personally, socially. It gives you that opportunity to really become who you are supposed to be outside of college and challenge yourself to know what you want from yourself. So like if you know you want to become somebody who can lead people, okay, you need to work on this and this. And also being on board gives you an opportunity to be super, super close to like 10 people. Like
Mhm.
you are all, you are all together all the time.
Mhm.
Board is always together. Guess why? Because there's always something happening with Fusion. There's
Yup.
a Fusion Friday, there's a Fusion podcast, there's a Fusion this, that. And so like you're always in discussion, you're always talking to people, and you're gonna learn how to um, work with people you don't like. You're gonna learn to work with people that don't know how to work with other people. You know, you're gonna have to learn how to teach people to talk to you and be like, hey, why didn't you tell me this happened? And you're like, well, I didn't think you needed to know. It's like, no, you need to let us know. Like you're going to learn how to deal with other people, because when you get out of college, you're not all of a sudden in your own little bubble that you need to focus on what you need to do in school. You know, like
Mhm.
school's very it's simple in a way that you know that you have an end goal, right? Like you
Mhm.
go to this class, you pass it, and the way that you do that is you study.
Mhm.
But when you get out of college, you don't got a goal, like unless you set that for yourself. And
Mhm.
guess what, you're working for other people all the time, so you're really just given the opportunity to like work with other people, which is very it helps you stand out. um and back to I got off track, but like back to the board thing, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um it really just like you get so close to them, you make these relationships that you'll never forget about. Like
Mhm.
my boards, while the boards that I have been in, we all have had different dynamics, and all have been um we all bonded in different ways. So like
Mhm.
one of the boards that we bonded about coming together after something bad happened. We had another board that came together because uh we just started to like, how do I say this? Like we started to really bond so outside of board. So like we
Mhm.
were working, I think we would say like we were all like burnt out from Fusion. So then we started saying like, why don't we just go to dinner or something? Like let's just talk not about Fusion. So
Yeah.
like we made friends. We were able to establish like a connection that didn't have to rely on Fusion either. So like all of a sudden, um you have these like 10 groups of people that you get to build something with. That's so fun. Like
Mhm.
you and your board can say that you successfully like successfully survived like COVID board. Like that is so crazy, because you have bonded so much through just that struggle. Like,
Mhm.
and that's something that's very unique to you and your own friends, that you can just say that 10 years from now you're like, yeah, I had to run a board just virtually. I had to do these meetings where I didn't nobody could talk to each other in person, so we had to find out 100 activities of like what we could do via computer, right? So like
Mhm.
it's so fun to figure that, to me it's so fun to figure that out for yourself, like
Mhm.
what you can do and what you can accomplish. And it's like as well like teamwork and stuff. So
Yeah.
run run for board. I love board. I No matter how hard it is, it when it comes down to like time management and stuff, like it does challenge you. And there are 10 other people on that, or how many ever people on that board, to help you out whenever stuff gets hard, whether that's
Mhm.
personal or board or academic. Like
Mhm.
they all understand that same struggle. So run for board, it's great. You should do it.
Yeah. I mean, just putting in my 2 cents, I would just say, like a lot of Dom's points hold true being part of board. I would also say that it's really nice to have an opportunity to like be part of a board and like in a group dynamic and like it being okay to fail. Like, you know,
Yes.
like you don't get like if you're in a job, you're getting paid for like what you're doing. There's a certain amount of like I had to do it correctly or else. Like on board, it's like even this year, a lot of our stuff was like, just throwing stuff on a wall and hoping it sticks. Like that was just a bunch of it. And it's like sometimes, ideas don't work out and it's like that's fine. Like, you just learn from that and like you try to, you know, change it into something else that does work. So it's just like a little and you get so close like I was close to the people that are on board right now beforehand, but like it really like you get really close to the point when you start working with someone like professionally and
Absolutely.
like it's like a different like you know you learn other sides of them, like just how
A
they
hundred
are,
percent.
like it's like that, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like that doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's more just like, you know, you see how they, you know, think things through and like how they problem solve, and you're just like, oh, I don't do it like that, but like it works, and it's like you just see different perspectives on stuff, and you're like, you know, it just widens your horizon, and like it's just a good opportunity for that. So yeah, join Fusion Board, please. You know, my position is coming up, so I'm looking for who my successor is going to be.
Continue the Fusion podcasts.
Yes, yeah. I mean, like, not 100%, you know, needed, but like, you
Yes.
know, if you like, I just think that like do something that like you would be passionate about. Like, it doesn't have to be a
Also
podcast.
true.
So
Yes.
but you know, if you want to continue a podcast, that's all you. But yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, I think we're gonna be wrapping up with this last question. Final question for this podcast. What's your plan now, and what's your biggest goal at the moment?
My plan right now is to try. One of the biggest goals that I have right now is to try to balance my personal life with my work life,
Mm-hmm.
because my job is very demanding.
Mm-hmm.
It's physically and like just the time. Like I'm at work from 6:30 to like 7 p.m. So it's very hard for me to find time for myself and even prioritize myself at all. Like all I do is just eat and then go to bed. And
Oof.
then when I come home for the weekend that I'm off, all I do is I rest because I'm so tired.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very hard for me to find hobbies outside of just watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one of the big things that I'm trying to find for myself right now. Like outside
Mm-hmm.
of college, guess what? You after work, you don't have homework, so you don't you have the time for you to do whatever you want. So I'm trying to find out what I can put my time in that will be fulfilling for me, like
Mm-hmm.
whether that's playing video games or like diving into like a program in school or something that will help me in my job,
Mm-hmm.
um, or whether that's like I don't know, like knitting or something. Like
Yes.
I really need to find something for myself that really helps me express myself and have fun, because I
Mm-hmm.
think I don't have enough fun right now, especially with how young I am.
Oh.
So um definitely, and I also want to like talk to friends more, push and like stuff like that, go out to like meetings if I can in person, go out
Mm-hmm.
shopping. Like I need to find that time for myself, because right now I was so like narrow tunnel vision towards like being
Mm-hmm.
good at my job that I really pushed my own needs aside.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm trying to learn that balance, because my job, I know what I need to do to get promoted, to do well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking those steps, but I also need to remember that I also can't be the best me. I can't be the best manager if I'm not taking care of myself as well. Um, yeah, so I have to do that. I'm trying to build a computer, but that's very
Oh.
expensive. I might go towards traveling soon, or not too sure. Like I'm trying to stay very fluid and
Mm-hmm.
adaptable for this, but definitely continue what just trying to continue my own, not to stay stagnant, like trying to continue my own like development in my career, but also in like my personal life.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah.
Wow. Alrighty.
What about
Uh
you?
oh no. I got okay. Dang, this is just like
Tell the
Andrew all.
mic.
Yeah, dang. I mean, right. I mean, graduating is a really big part of that. So you know, the future is the future is just like, you know, in the horizon. But
You gonna
I
take
mean,
grad pics?
would want to, but
Yeah.
dude, I'll just have a face mask on. But no, no, I won't do that. But I mean, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, you know, be between film majors, film industry's kind of changing. It's like yeah, like Loki. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of crazy that like I'm graduating at the point where COVID is like dying down. So it's like I'm
Kind of
at
perfect.
I'm at the precipice of like I would say I would say it's like a big change in like how film is gonna work in general, like the film industry.
Hmm.
Like, are we gonna be switching? Are we just gonna be going back to how it was, or are we gonna be more focusing on streaming? And like
Yep.
streaming is a big thing, so it's like
Yep. Yep.
it's all up in the air. So you know, I think at this point, like just kind of like short term, I just want to start working after I graduate, just like have something to do. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be within my own you know my own major. I mean,
Hmm.
like if I do get that, that'd be amazing to be honest. But like, just have some experience, working, and I want to make some money for myself and like see how it goes from there. But yeah, the future is up there. Just we'll have to see. But
Well,
yeah,
best of luck to you, Kevin Bacon.
yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming to the Fusion podcast. I'm just kidding.
What? I mean, like, God, you're taking the words out of my mouth. Thank you so much, Dom, for coming on to the Fusion podcast. Is there anyone you would want to call out to be part of this?
Uh, Richard, that's my suit. I love my suit, so let's have him on there. Because I really want to see his journey through college. So I would say let's do it.
I mean, like, you could give other names for possibly for successor. If they continue the Fusion podcast.
um, how about you watching on that screen right now? Go ahead, and I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. Even if you're not no, 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 you need to be an alumni. But
um, let me think. I would say talking to Ian Pareja would be really interesting.
Mhm.
Because definitely he has experience STEM wise going from his struggles in college, but then also as well like going from SoCal to NorCal, and dealing with
Mm.
that. So he is, I would say he's really good. Also DJ, because he went through his own kind of story,
Mhm.
and it's very interesting. And he did intern twice just because he wanted to. He loves fusion. He knows old fusion too, like old fusion before I even more than I would know. So
Oh.
DJ would be very interesting. And let's say, yeah, I feel like they would give you the best content, to be honest. So I
Okay.
would give you that.
All right. We got three names. We got Richard, Ian Pareja, and DJ. So, successor. For the first episode, possibly you got some names. You also have some names from the previous podcast. So, you know, I can't wait to see what you do with this. I mean, if you don't continue it, that's cool too. I just, I want you. I
No,
want.
Kevin Bacon will continue it. Don't worry.
Yeah,
He'll be
I'll
along
just
with that.
I'll just continue it on my own. Nah, just kidding. But yeah, just like I just found this as like a great way to like interact with like alumni, and like it was like one of the easy or like one of the easiest ways to do it virtually, to be honest, because like can't be in person. That's what sucks. And successor, to be honest, you'll be in person, so find some new ways to do it. I mean, granted, you could just do the podcast, in person. That'd be crazy. Not
Yeah.
had yeah, honestly. But yeah, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for being a great host and all your hard work you've done this year for Fusion, because definitely it's everything about Fusion this year was so different and new. I loved just being like a kind of overseer like about it. And that's all because of you and your board's hard work. So good on y'all. I hope you're running on April, May, June. So you got a couple more months left. So riding down the hill. I hope you guys just step back and enjoy it for the rest of the time.
Mhm.
Because yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for everyone who's watching. I've been your host, Kevin Bacon. Hope to see you in the next one.